Thank you for being with us. I'm Jordan Chavez. We were just testing Corey Rowe's eyes this morning.
Well, then we keep this lower thing up and you can't see where the locations are. Just don't even. Okay, so let's get a check the forecast. Senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi is joining us right now. We were seeing the snow up in the high country, and we're going to see serious winds later today.
And Corey, I think that split box told the story there. Beaver Creek, snow and wind, and nothing at the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels. This burst of snow and wind is going to come in quite suddenly. So if you're traveling to or from the mountains right now, it may be calm in many areas, but that snow and wind combination will come in like a lion in the next couple of hours. Right now, Beaver Creek, all that snow's come within probably the last 30 minutes, a good inch of snow in the last 30 minutes. Here in Denver, mostly on the calm side, but we are starting to see those flags whipping about a little bit there outside the boss's office. Today, 52 wind-whipped degrees for us. We'll have more clouds than sunshine, maybe a few bits of sun this morning, but the main story and the reason we have a weather impact alert is because of the wind. In the mountains, we are getting some of that steadier snow, and it's that burst of snow now just about reaching Vail, but mostly right now through the West Elks and the flat tops. That's where we're seeing that steadiest snow right now, and that snow as it moves north and east will provide that burst of snow and wind on the I-70 corridor. In Denver, that wind not too bad, at least not yet, but later on this morning, between about 9 a.m. and midday, that wind will really pick up for us. That's why we have that weather impact alert. But it's not, of course, just here along the Front Range. It's also up in the high country. We're talking about some of that snow and wind. That's where our man in the mountains, Matt Renew, joins us from now. And Matt, Vail Pass looks like it's pretty calm right now, but my suspicion is in about half an hour, it's going to look quite different behind you.
I can't wait, Chris. We've staked our claim here on Vail Pass, just east of that storm that you were just talking about, waiting for the snow to roll up over this portion of the state. I'll tell you, if you're waking up and you're driving in or out of the mountains, it is clear roads. You're going to see I-70 running very well from Denver all the way up to Vail Pass. And then you start dropping into Vail, heading west out towards Edwards, Wolcott, and then down into Glenwood Canyon. That's where you're going to start to see this storm coming down in a hurry, and it's pushing this direction. And so conditions are going to change throughout the morning. Clearly, it's been snowing a lot this winter. The piles are stacked pretty high in the high country, and another powder day coming up this weekend, and you might want to take advantage of it if you can get up into the mountains after the storm settled down a little bit, because believe it or not a whole lot of time to take advantage of powder days. We've got about a month left of the ski season, with most ski areas closing in April. In fact, Keystone and Monarch will close on April 6th with only about 23 days left at those ski areas. Winter Park on April 27th. And so this is a good time to take advantage of those last big storms that are starting to hit the high country at the ski areas. The big holdouts will be Copper Mountain and Breckenridge, which are staying open until May 11th. And we'll see what A-Basin does and how long they can stretch out their season. Of course, it all depends on what kind of snow we get, and more snow now rolling into the high country. So we'll see what we're going to get in another 30 minutes or so here on Vail Pass, as conditions are expected to change quickly this morning if you're going in or out of the mountains. So stay tuned to the networks and 9 News as conditions change, so you can be up to date with those changes in the weather. Reporting from Vail Pass, I'm Matt Renew. Erica, we're seeing roads moving along very nicely at this hour, but I don't imagine that will be the case in the high country in about an hour or two.
I think you're exactly spot on, Matt. It's going to get dicey up there, and I actually have a couple cameras for everyone just to kind of show you things are beginning in the Glenwood Springs area. We're seeing at least wet roads. We know that snow coming down just a bit out that way, not too heavy, and it's really not moving too far into the I-70 mountain corridor just yet, but like Matt said and Chris has been talking about, we're expecting things to get pretty dicey as the morning continues. I-70 Lookout Mountain, quiet and clear. Overall, we're in good shape as we quickly bring you over to our map and graphics this morning. Friday drive, so far so good, no crashes, quiet metro area, but of course that mountain snow is moving in. We'll be keeping a close eye on that for you. Rest of the Denver metro area, though, quiet in the green. Travel times are very quick. Northbound I-25 commute between Castle Rock and 225 will only take about 16 minutes. And we have team coverage this morning from the road to the sky. Brianna Fernandez is live outside of Denver International Airport, where things are going to get busy there. The spring break travel season is kicking off, Brianna.
That's exactly right. A busy travel season here at Denver International Airport. So not only do we have those windy conditions later today, but we also have tons of schools that are going to be out for spring break. So we know those schools include Jefferson County, it includes Adams, Douglas County, Pruder, and Cherry Creek schools. And you guys, those are just the main school districts that we know of. So airport officials say that more than 80,000 passengers are expected to pass through security. So that's an 8% increase than we saw last year. And just a quick heads up, the busiest days today, Sunday, and next Friday. So again, you combine all of those things, those windy conditions later, plus the spring break and a busy travel season for spring breakers here at Denver International Airport, it is going to be a mess, especially at those security checkpoints. So airport officials say come 2 hours early, check with your airline, see if you have any delays or cancellations. And of course, we're going to keep you updated all throughout the morning. For now, I'm live here outside of Denver International Airport. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
I know it's going to get so busy out there. So many schools have spring break this week. So many people heading out starting today. Brianna, thank you so much. Things aren't looking too bad right now if you have an early morning flight. So far, we have 31 delays out at DIA and we have 12 cancellations. Again, it's always good to arrive 2 hours early out at the airport, especially with the volume that we're going to see over the next few days. We will continue to follow the wind and its impacts throughout the day on the road and in the skies. You can stay up to date on our 9 News Plus app, download on your TV, watch for free.
Today, the man involved in the deadly wrong-way crash on eastbound I-70 in Wheat Ridge is expected to be in court. We first brought you this breaking news yesterday morning. Police say that Jian Chen crashed into a woman's car while going the wrong way. They say he was on I-70 driving west in the eastbound lanes between Kipling and Ward Drive a little after 5 a.m. The woman in the car died. She has not yet been identified. A toddler who was with her is expected to survive, we're told. Wheat Ridge police recommended 4 charges against Chen, including vehicular homicide and DUI.
I think that we as a department like to focus on what we can control. We can control our enforcement. What we can't control is people's behavior before they get behind the wheel of the car. And that is frustrating in and of itself.
Court records show that Chen also has a previous DUI conviction from 2019.
This morning, President Trump's trade war continues to ramp up as he's threatening a 200% tariff on European alcohol. The president says the penalty would only happen if the EU moves forward with a planned tariff on American whiskey. The European import tax was unveiled in response to steel and aluminum tariffs by the United States. The tariffs are expected to go into effect on April 1st, just ahead of separate reciprocal tariffs that Trump plans to place on the EU.
Tesla says it could be impacted by retaliatory tariffs in response to President Donald Trump's tariff policy. A letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer lays out how it believes a trade war would hurt U.S. manufacturers and Tesla's operations. The company says that U.S. trade policy needs to take into account limitations in the domestic supply chain. In particular, Tesla notes EVs and lithium-ion batteries are hard to source in the U.S.
The Wall Street Journal reports the Ford 150 will be significantly impacted by President Trump's tariffs on imported aluminum and steel. America's most popular pickup truck is one of the biggest users of aluminum in the auto industry, and steel and aluminum account for more than half of the materials used for all vehicles. If the tariffs remain in place, Barclays estimates the cost of building vehicles could go up by about $400 per car. Analysts say such costs will likely get passed along to buyers.
Colorado's governor wants Canada to know that we are still cool. He declared Saturday Canada Friendship Day. It's symbolic, meant to signal Colorado is not down with President Trump's trade war with America's hat. Trump just slapped 25% tariffs on Canadian products. Canada is Colorado's largest trading partner.
The actual tariff policy is in the control of the federal government. We as states have our voice.
Colorado imports more than $5 billion of Canadian goods every single year.
Now to a live look at the nation's capital, where a government shutdown is looming. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will back a Republican spending plan to keep the government open, saying a government shutdown would be worse. A ton of Democrats already have said they're going to vote against it. The package has already passed the House. In the Senate, Republicans hold a 53-47 majority, but they need Democrats to support the package to reach a 60-vote threshold required to overcome a filibuster. Other than Schumer, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman is the only other Democrat to say he will vote for it. Both of Colorado's senators, Democrats John Hickenlooper and Michael Bennet, have said they won't. The bill needs to pass the Senate and get President Trump's signature by tonight to avoid a shutdown.